The fast attack craft missiles, aka missile boats, are generally preferred for use in littoral waters. The Hayabusa-class boats of the Japan Maritime Self-Defense Force, shortly JMSDF, are an exception. These small surface combatants are one of the best examples of how important missile boats can fulfill in modern blue water navies. As the weapon detective, we're investigating what the Hayabusa class tells us. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel before we start, and give us a thumbs up if you like our video. Before starting our analysis, let's take a look at the history and technical features of the Hayabusa class. The JMFD's interest in missile boats dates back to the 1970s to replace its obsolete torpedo boat fleet. Deciding to build 3 missile boats in those years, Japan also started studies on a hydrofoil boat. However, after the 1973 Yom Kippur War, the members of the Organization of Arab Petroleum Exporting Countries decided an oil embargo against some countries, including Japan. Therefore, the Japanese economy suffered a crisis. For this reason, there was a serious delay in the program, and the JMSDF was able to commission the first missile boat only in 1993. It was originally planned to build 6 hydrofoil-type boats called the PG-1 Go class. However, the program had yet another delay because of the budgetary savings caused by Japan's contribution to the 1991 Gulf War. During this period, it was observed that the seaworthiness and the hull strength of the PG-1 Go class were insufficient. Also, as a problem peculiar to hydrofoil design, these boats could be operated efficiently either high speed or low speed, which made the PG-1 Go class difficult to operate in the medium speed range. Therefore, Japan cancelled the building of the last 3 boats and decided to work on an improved hydrofoil design. Initially, it was planned to equip the new enlarged boats with 2 engines, providing a maximum speed of 40 knots. But after an incident off the Noto Peninsula involving a North Korea spy ship, the required speed was raised to 44 knots. Based on this requirement, the number of main engines installed was also increased to 3. Due to the layout, it became difficult to adapt the hydrofoil type. So Japan started to work on a conventional design. JS Hayabusa, the first boat to give its name to the class, was commissioned in 2002. A total of 6 boats have been built of this class. The new missile boats, called the Hayabusa class, have a deep V-type hybrid hull to prevent the bow from rising. The hull is made of aluminum alloy. The bridge has a 2-layer structure which is reinforced by bulletproof plates made of flame-retardant composite materials. The living and working areas concentrates near the center of gravity of the ship, near the bridge structure. This design helps reduce pitching. Each part of the hull is sloped so that it doesn't directly reflect the radar wave. The mast also has a shape that ensures the stealth of the tripod structure. The 76mm gun on the front deck has a low radar cross-section too. Also, the protective material for the handrails on the port side and the water jet nozzle are not made of normal cylindrical material, but instead they are made of a rhombic cross-section like the mast. These boats are equipped with a satellite communication system and an infrared night vision equipment. Managed by a crew of 21, the Hayabusa-class boats have a length of 50.1 meters, a beam of 8.4 meters, and a draft of 1.7 meters. The standard displacement is 200 tons, while the fully loaded displacement is 240 tons. 3 5,400 horsepower General Electric LM500-GO7 gas turbines can provide the boat with a maximum speed of 44 knots. The Hayabusa class is equipped with one 76mm Otomalera Super Torpedo gun, as well as 4 locally developed SSM-1B anti-ship missiles. Besides, These boats have two 12.7mm machine guns. The 76mm gun is directed by the FCS-2-31C fire control system. The Hayabusa-class is equipped with one OPS-18-3 surface search and OPS-20 navigation radars. The boats also have two Mark 36 SRBOC decoy launchers and NOLR-9B electronic support measure system. Thanks to its pump jets, the Hayabusa-class has high performance in shallow waters. The Super Rapido can fire 135 rounds per minute. However, it has been tested that using the gun with such a high rate of fire decreases the barrel life sharply. So, Otto Meller advised that the maximum safe rate of fire speed for the gun should not exceed 130 rounds per minute. The Super Rapido is controlled from the CIC via console. The gun, which has an effective range of 20,000 meters against surface targets, is also very effective against air targets. The SSM-1B, also known as the Type 90, has a range of 150 kilometers and a 260 kilogram high explosive warhead. The launching is carried out with a solid fuel booster rocket engine. The TJM-2 turbojet engine used in flight enables the missile to cruise at a speed of 1,150 kilometers per hour. The SSM-1B, which uses inertial guidance system during the cruise, activates active radar guidance system in the terminal phase for the final attack. The OPS-13 2D surface search radar operates in C-band and can display up to 10 targets simultaneously. The FCS-2-31C fire control system can detect a target with a radar cross-section of 1 square meter at a range of 30,000 meters and an altitude of 15,000 meters. It operates in X-band. Now that we have looked at the characteristics of the Hayabusa class, it will be useful to look at the approach of NATO countries' navies to missile boats for a better analysis of it. These platforms are not considered as important in Western countries as in the East. NATO's main naval strategy is geared towards control of the open seas. In order to control the littoral water, aircraft have replaced missile boats for a while. Greece and Turkey, the only two NATO countries, although having more than 10 major surface combatants, also use the missile boats. This type of platforms are still used by Bulgaria, Norway, and Romania. But these countries define their ships as corvettes, not missile boats. Croatia and Poland are other NATO countries that still have missile boats. Due to the different perceptions of maritime security, things are different in the Far East than in Europe. Although South Korea and Japan are similar to Western countries in terms of technology, they continue to use missile boats alongside many major surface combatants. When we start to talk specifically about Japan, maritime security perceptions and historical heritage reveal themselves as two important points. First of all, if we touch the historical heritage, in the second half of the 19th century, Japan, which launched the program to have a modern navy, started to be interested in the Jeune École by following the fashion of the time in the 1880s. Jeune École, in other words, young school doctrine, depends on small and fast surface combatants, especially cruisers and torpedo boats, versus bigger units. At that time, the Meiji government, which found this doctrine suitable for its own security perceptions, decided to build 48 warships, of which 22 were to be torpedo boats. This was a suitable model for Japan with limited resources. The correctness of this decision proved itself during the 1905 Battle of Tsushima. On the night of the battle, on May 27, 1905, Japanese torpedo boats and destroyers managed to sink 2 battleships and 2 armored cruisers of the Imperial Russian Navy. In the light of this success, the Japanese have established a tradition of using small boats in narrow waters. Besides, Japan has a different perception of maritime security than NATO's member states with major surface combatant fleets due to its geographical location. The Russian Northern Fleet must travel a long distance from Murmansk to the North Sea. For this reason, NATO warships must have a long range to patrol on this wide area and monitor the Russian ships. The requirement of long endurance naturally requires ships to increase in size. However, in the Pacific, Chinese, North Korean, and Russian ships may reach a position that could threaten Japan soon after leaving their home bases. So, the JMSDF needs ships that can quickly monitor the naval elements that may pose a threat. Continuous patrolling with major surface combatants for this task is costly. Also, large ships have a high reaction time because they are not as fast as missile boats. The maritime patrol aircraft cannot operate long time in the region as much as boats. Their high speed is too much for such monitoring. Therefore, although their units costs are lower, the use of maritime patrol aircraft in this mission is not cost effective. On the other hand, these 6 boats can be directed towards Chinese, North Korean, and Russian ships in different locations in a short time. This is cheaper than using 6 large ships for the same mission. Another factor is, for example, deploying a small-sized vessel to monitor a ship leaving Vladivostok seems less aggressive than sending a destroyer. In this way, Japan has managed to keep the risk of experiencing tension with its neighbors to a minimum until today. Also, Hayabusa-class, thanks to its speed of 44 knots, is more successful than large ships in monitoring and intercepting North Korean spy boats. The operational use of these boats to date also supports the arguments that we mentioned. If we talk about some significant example, on June 19, 2015, in cooperation with a Japanese P-3 Orion aircraft, JS Wakataka, one of this class, detected and monitored the Russian Navy destroyers RFS Admiral Vinogradov and RFS Marshal Shaposhnikov at the 100 kilometers west-northwest of the Cape Suya. The same boat detected and monitored a Chinese Navy task force near the Aomori prefecture in February 2016. In June of the same year, in one day, near Suya Strait, JS Wakataka detected and monitored separately an Akula-class nuclear attack submarine, 1 Udaloy-class and 1 Sovremeny-class destroyers, 4 Tarantul-class, 3 Nanuchka-class, and 2 Grisha-class corvettes, and a Boris Chilykin-class fleet oiler. Similarly, on November 4, 2015, JS Otaka detected and monitored the Slava-class cruiser RFS Varyuk, Sovremeny-class destroyer RFS Bystry, and Boris Chilykin-class fleet oiler RFS Boris Butoma of the Russian Navy 75 kilometers northeast of Kamisushima town. A year later, the boat detected and followed 3 landing ships advancing in the same area, accompanied by the Udaloy-class destroyer RFS Admilayev Panteleyev. Many more patrol and monitoring missions performed by other boats of the class, JS Hayabusa, JS Kumutaka, JS Umitaka, and JS Shiritaka, can be added to these examples. Despite these successes, in 2018, to replace the Hayabusa class, the Japanese government has approved the construction of 4 3,900-ton frigates and the development of a new patrol boat. However, this approval is not meaning the end of these vessels. The Philippines is known to want to procure the Hayabusa-class boats that will be decommissioned in the future. The Hayabusa-class has played an important role in the detection and monitoring of naval elements that could pose a threat to the Japanese islands for many years. These boats are indication that the Jeune École doctrine, which has lost its popularity for large navies today, is still important. Our analysis as the weapon detective that it would be a premature decision for the JMSDF to give up on them now. The missile boats will continue to take on important tasks in these days as the Second Cold War rises. Thanks for watching our video. And please don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give us a thumbs up if you like our video.